for the legend. My love, just open your third on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road, you better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light, peace, love. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to you and yours. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to Melanin Mondays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, soon to be joined by my guest, the good brother Hitsuyo. And without any further ado, let me open up the line and bring the God in the building. Peace.
Peace to the family. How's everything been? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Live and direct from the mothership. Yet again.
Be on that other shit. And I'm talking about.
You know we on that other shit.
So yes, indeed, we are here for a late night. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody watching this on a replay. Sir, under this moon, under this super moon. Yeah, man.
Big time, yeah.
Yes, indeed. We are here to cook. We're here to drop some information. We're here to teach. Aries moon, beautiful. Aries, beautiful. That moon, I just looked outside. It's lit. It's magnetic. Yeah. Let the people know who may be unfamiliar with you, good brother, who you are and whatnot. Introduce yourself to the family.
Live and direct from the mothership, that Naga be on some other shit. Hitsuyo, sovereign identity architect at your service. I blend digital brand strategy, digital literacy, systems thinking, and a little bit of that good old Afrofuturistic philosophy to help melanated creators just like you remember who the fuck they are, so we can build empires that reflect your soul, and of course not this godless algorithm. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm one part brand strategist, you know what I'm saying, brand builder, brand architect, one part shaman, you know what I'm saying, all swag, all drip, all obsidian, you know how it goes.
That part. You dig? Yeah, man. So it's been a while since we've been on the platform. I took a few days off. You know, I had to do a little bit of researching, some recharging, some deep diving, getting some projects together, preparing for some upcoming ones. We have the AI Masters on November the 1st and the 2nd. That one is going to be it already is the workshop of the year.
Legendary.
Yeah. The biggest workshop that I've been involved with this year thus far, hands down. You know, it's shattered all records already. So I'm just in the gym getting ready for that one, sharpening my sword and whatnot, getting everything together for that. And the universe is just giving me all type of alley oops. The other day they dropped the app called Sora 2. Just when I was ready to unfollow, I was gonna just I was looking at Sora one day in disgust, and I was like, "Damn, whatever happened to you, man? You know what I mean? You
Damn.
was you was Sora was the talk of the town.
Yo, when it came out,
That's what I'm
had the
saying.
game on
When it came to
smash.
AI video, it was almost like Sora was the one. It was the golden child.
Big time.
But this Sora 2, the shit that it did to the internet, it cracked the internet wide open. Like it broke the internet, and it onboarded millions of people into this realm that we've been this it brought millions of new people through the door into the club.
Facts.
Once you're onboarded into something, it's somewhat hard to unboard you. um
You can't undo the change. You
and
can't
under the
unsee the
change,
scene.
quiet as kept for those who got into this AI thing in the beginning. There was an app called Lenza, right? Chat GPT is erroneously getting the credit, right? When they drop the chat bot, people are erroneously giving Chat GPT the credit, whereas it was the app called Lenza that got mad people on board and brought people to the awareness of the new age of AI and what it could do with your image. Because chatting is one thing, but the
Hmm.
image is a whole nother thing. It opened up the imagination, the imagination. I remember the first day I saw it, and it breathed. It almost like gave me a new neural pathway. You know what I mean? It was neuroplasticity at work. I uploaded my picture. I pressed a few buttons, and then it gave me like 30 different pictures back. But I got to see myself as an immortal
Mm.
on this little
Well,
black mirror of mine.
yeah.
I got to see the Afrofuturistic variation of myself. This was right around the time when I was getting into Kang the Conqueror on the Loki
Facts.
series, and it was talking about variations,
Yeah,
right?
the variations in the timelines.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I saw that scene with Kang, and he was with 1,000 different Kangs. So then, boom. So then I opened up the Lensa app. I upload like 30 of my pictures, and then boom, it's giving me mad different variations of me. Some some
Hmm.
some some iterations. It's not 100% me, but god damn it, I'm in there somewhere, right? So fast forward to what Sora 2 is. Sora 2 is Lensa for like my son and my daughter's generation. Cause they
Okay.
the ones going crazy on Sora right now because it broke it's like you could generate copyright images, copyright IP. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness. Yeah. So it's a new we're in a new era right now. Um what also is happening is we've crossed the barrier
Mm.
permanently. VO3 had us tippy toeing in the uncanny valley, but Sora 2 is the official 2 feet over the line. The doors closed forever, and you're in hyper reality like a motherfucker. You understand me?
Yeah, there's
You're
no
in a new
reversing this shit
reality
here.
where nothing could be quote unquote believe nothing is it was a saying that they used to throw around. Believe nothing that you hear and half of what you
Half
see.
of what you see, facts.
Believe nothing of what you see and half of what you hear. Almost nothing that you hear because with the clone, I can manipulate voice, and with the deepfake, I can manipulate anyone's image. They have commercial over the top, over the table tools, ladies and gentlemen, that literally you could become anyone that you can ever perceive, anyone in the public domain, anything that you could even draw up in your mind. Try me, right? Try me. A nigga pop out and be like, not what I could super crap of fragalichus epialidocious with a little bit of fraggle rock. Try me. We could make it, we could bring it to life. There's one of
We're
those
in an imagination renaissance on
that
some
will
shit.
spit that shit out, huh?
I said we in an imagination renaissance on some shit.
We are in a completely different timeline. We are on a completely different timeline. The evolution will be digitized. This just is a different layer. It comes in layers and whatnot. This is not the end all be all. This is not as far as it's gonna go. No, but this is definitely a different layer than what it was exactly 30 days ago.
Facts. And we coming up on a month after that big hit job, that public hit job. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this though. Look at the irony in it all, God. Look how these people like to play in the faces of intelligent people, and they insult your intelligence so much that if you allow it to fester, there's no one to blame but yourself. So a month ago, there was a questionable incident with an individual, and it was so many discrepancies in this footage, right? In the footage, in the official footage, that is, the footage that was CNN. You know what I'm talking about?
I went to grab the SD card. I was so scared.
I was so scared. There's the footage on Reuters. You know what I'm talking about? Like everything that they sent around with, this was the footage. Ring missing, the F popped off.
Facts.
The chair disappeared in the table. It's all kind of stuff going on, which brought the possibility, right? It wasn't, it's a theory, that the possibility of maybe an advanced form of holographic tech. Because I'm a shareholder in a company from many moons ago, back in 2014, called Magic Leap. This company deals with spatial reality, augmented reality. Magic Leap will have a whale coming out of the floor of a gym, of a basketball court in a gym. Right? This technology exists it has existed for years. So that SD card, that camera, so many other little things, people were questioning, well, could that even have been a hologram? Or could that have been generated? And then right after that,
you drop Sora 2. Fucking crazy.
Right? The guys over at Open Sam and the guys, they drop a commercial app, right? Now keep in mind what commercial is. Commercial, you got commercial, but then you got enterprise, and then you got private. Like then you got some shit that's on the government level.
Military grade.
Who are now part of the U.S. Armed Services in the same service or the same government that said that it's a green light to do propaganda, right? It's a green light to have a foreign entity engage in forms of propaganda and psyop, psychological operations. It's legal. And there's so many other things that we could factor in, but we'll just leave it there. It's just crazy that right after that, because now I could prompt a video of something happening that happened to that young man. I could prompt a video of something like that happening to somebody and put their face on it and just throw it on the internet. And if it goes viral, if people believe it,
then you died. You just got clapped.
if you die on the internet, you die.
You die in real life.
Huh?
Big time. You die on the internet, you die in real life.
Right. When they keep putting rumors on people, when they put those false headlines, that National Enquirer headline out, like that's a hit. That's a spiritual attack. So much has happened, young man, in the last 14 days. When do we convene to do the American Gods Magafest Destiny 2 point?
That was the 28th.
Okay, so that was the 28th, right? So in the span of, I would say, since then, right?
Like a week and some change, maybe?
A week and some change, there has been a trail of bodies left behind from the demonstration that was done on that day, on that Sunday, on that whoever's in the building, who was in the building when me, Blue Pillar, and the Young God got together for Magafest Destiny 2.0. Please let it be known in the chat, right? The follow-up. I've decided that we're going to do a follow-up. We're going to do an epilogue, because we got to close out the chapter after we put in the work. We got to let the body rest for about 7 days and then come back to it and see what let's do the autopsy. Yeah. Let's do all of this. Let's take it apart and see what we find, because immediately after that lecture, things began to move and shift and quote unquote accelerate. I'll point 3 things out for the family, and we'll cover it more extensively as we move forward. But one of the first things that stood out right after the lecture was the meeting on Tuesday, on the day of Mars War, by the Department of War, by one we call Pistol Pete, okay? And that will be Pete Hegseth, okay? Pistol Pete from the Department of War got 800 of the top brass together and gave them a lecture on manhood and the warrior.
Stern talking to.
Huh?
Gave him that stern talking to.
Gave him that real stern talking to, stood on business, right? And talked down to some of the top generals, some of the top brass, some of the elite warriors of the empire. 2 of them retired afterwards. Shit, I would have thought more would have retired. You should have seen their faces. Matter of fact, let me pull it up. Let me just see if I got that. Them boys was pissed, man.
Them boys were pissed, dog.
They was looking so.
Not the zoom in.
Let's get a better look, right? Let's get a better look. No applause for no applause for Trump when he came out. No applause for Pistol Pete when he finished talking. Nothing. I'm talking about eerie silence, right? Look at these people's faces. These are men of a different type of quote unquote. These are the war hawks. These people's faces are hardened by war. These are the ones who are out there right now pillaging, destroying. Will they go for this agenda of the nationalism? Will they go for what is being sold to them? Because it was very clear and very quote unquote precise as to who they were speaking about going after. Right? And let's not be naive and
Yeah,
just
let's not
say
be foolish about this. They want smoke with the American populace outright. Outright.
straight up, right? Who exactly in the American populace do they want smoke with? Well, we have to consider who they are. Who are they that we speak of, right? Who are the ones calling the shots? Who are the ones creating the list? Who are the ones who are dictating the mandate? I have a few names. We could share it, you know? And the good thing about it is that this is not speculation. This is facts. Okay? This is facts. So you got Pistol Pete, right? Who is a known crusader. Okay? And he turned the Department of Defense into the Department of War. And then he tried to lecture these men right here, and it didn't work. Okay? It did not work. President Donald Trump on Tuesday proposed using American cities as training grounds for the armed forces, with U.S. military might being deployed against what he described as the invasion from within. Addressing an audience of military brass abruptly summoned to Virginia, Trump outlined a muscular and at times norm-shattering view of the military's role in domestic affairs. He was joined by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who declared an end to woke culture and announced new directive for troops that include gender-neutral or male-level standards for physical fitness. The dual messages underscored the Trump administration's efforts not only to reshape contemporary Pentagon culture, but enlist military resources for the president's priorities and in everyday American civic life, including by quelling unrest and violent crime on city streets. He said, "We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military," Trump said. He noted at another point, "We're under invasion from within, no different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms." So I don't know if they were feeling him or not. I don't know if they will agree to what it is that he's trying to sell them or not. I don't know if this is all theater, right? I don't know if some of the top brass have to talk amongst themselves right now and say, "Listen, guys, we might have to remove the threat because, God damn it, this is if there was ever a means for a regime change, this has to be it right here
This
because this man just told us that we should turn the goddamn cities in America into training grounds when we're involved in conflicts everywhere outside of the United States of America, and it ain't looking too good wherever we at.
mm-hmm.
It ain't like it ain't like wherever we at, whether it's in the Ukraine conflict, whether it's them people over there helping these people commit the genocide, whether it's over there in the Sahel in Africa where it's getting real hot underneath their collars. Wherever they at, bro. Don't mention
not looking
somewhere in
right.
Asia. Yeah, don't mention anywhere around the China, man. Not with the China flow. Yeah, you're gonna be feeling like we don't need to be worrying about Memphis and Philly right now, because outside of these borders is bigger fish. You know, them people, they not listening to us the way that they used to. They not kind of like, so there's so much that could be said. However, once again, there is an effort, right? I'm going to share something with you right now as to how far these people are going in their draconian mandates, right? And keep in mind, these are the same people who refuse to release the list, the client list, right? These are the same people who, if this list may have dropped, would never have the integrity to summon 800 generals. These people are working on borrowed time. So we're just peeping the play. But that was a big play, this quote unquote, in the last few days. I want to go over some of the people that are running the show real quick, just to show you beyond a reasonable doubt why we are going to why this is Manifest Destiny playing out in real time, and why this has to be. So check this guy out. I'm sure everybody who wasn't familiar with this man is familiar with him at this point. If you're not familiar with him, I'm just going to let you know that this man right here may be one of the most powerful men in America as we speak, in the government, that is, right? And this is not even conspiracy. This is based off of the company that he owns and is one of the darlings of Wall Street. If anyone in the audience is in the stock trades and shit like that, what Palantir is doing, right? And the power of, and how good of a stock Palantir is. And there you go. And young Peter, right? Another Peter, right? You got Pistol Pete and you got young Peter, right? Peter is going around the world doing Antichrist lectures. And these Antichrist lectures they have weight to them. It's not like he's just going around wasting time and whatnot. He's literally going around having lectures about the Antichrist. And in his lectures, he's saying with a straight face that the Antichrist is going to come from restrictions on the AI, right? He believes in a technocratic society, a feudal society where it is run by technology surveillance. He is part of the LBGT mafia. He's part of the PayPal mafia. He is part of a lot of startups. He is behind JD Vance, who is becoming, by the day, looking like they're grooming him to be more of a replacement rather than a placeholder. He's the one pulling the strings. He's one of the earliest investors in Facebook. He's the backbone to the majority of these enterprise apps that people even deal with these days. Him and Elon are in bed together, even if they appear not to be. And right now, through JD Vance and through Palantir, he has his fangs in in the inner workings of the government. Now, Palantir plays a pivotal role in Meta Yahoo. Palantir plays a pivotal role in what it is that they have planned moving forward, especially with the implementation of the digital ID, especially of the provocation of the Civil War, especially dealing with the quote unquote the AGI, the rise of agentic AI, the rise of artificial general intelligence. He is also transhumanism. He pushes for he had a company called Ambrosia, and they were dealing with plasma, and they were dealing with adrenochrome, and they were dealing with quote unquote extending life, transhumanism. This is what all of them are into. He is what I identify as one of the four pale-faced horsemen. It is him. It is Anderson Horowitz. It is Elon Musk, and it is Zuckerberg. Yeah. So they've been activated. They are wanting. They're locked in with the government. The marriage has been complete. They roll with Trump wherever he goes. Now he brings this this technocrat, this technocracy with him. Okay.
Yo, it's interesting that we looking at the story of two Petes, right? Because I'm thinking about Peter as the Rock, but we also looking at that 3-eye Atlas rock, you see what I'm saying? That's also coming in on some shit. Then I'm tying that to the Antichrist, anti-crystal kind of vibration that also I feel is coming with that 3-eye Atlas thing. So it's interesting because then it's almost like they're building that new Tower of Babel to crack the firmament, to really get into their bag, you know what I'm saying, to release whatever it is they need to release. And these Peters are the way that they're getting into it through the war aspect of it, like Peter's throwing stones type shit.
Right. That's exactly what Peter is doing. Peter's throwing stones. Okay. Peter has this guy and a few others, but Peter has this one right here, juiced up, right? Bloodthirsty, ready to crusade, okay, ready to ride out, right?
We're ready for action.
Right. So these are all people of the same, they're all working together. This is all one plan, right? Please understand what you're looking at. This is nothing but this. This is nothing but this. Do not fall for anything else. This is this right here. Okay. Even this right here, what you seeing. Don't fall for the okie doke either. Okay. Because that's C.K. Kirkland right there. That's Tucker Carlson right there. That's Nick Fuentes right there.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? That's them. That's them right there. These are the same people. Okay? So don't be fooled. All of these people that, man, when you find out who this man is, and when you find out how much power he has in the White House, and when you find out what type of demagogue this man is, and when you find out what type of quote unquote slime ball, when you find out who this guy is, right, and how close, and what type, like there's a hierarchy. There would be a ladder. There would be a quote unquote rank and file in the White House. There's Trump, then there's him. Understand this. There's not JD Vance. There's Trump, and then there's Stephen Miller. So when you hear his speech at the Kirk, it's not a memorial. This was the Kirk rally. Because that was not a memorial that they had. That was a rally for their war. That was a war rally. He got up there and he had a war speech at an alleged memorial. How disrespectful, how inhumane, how heartless is that? And then he got up there with his inferiority complex and he espoused some of the most coded racist dog whistles that I've ever heard come out one of their pie holes. Okay. So he is going to be the Himmler to Trump. He like a Harry Potter villain. Oh yeah,
Dog, I keep
he
saying
is
this man look like Lex Luthor.
mixed with a Hobbit. Like if Lex
Yo,
Luger and a Hobbit went on a Tinder date. So he's from the first iteration, right?
damn.
She outed him, right? She outed him as a white supremacist, the chick in the middle, right? That's him and your boy Stephen Bannon. So he was able to follow Trump into this new quote unquote um this new administration, and Trump put him in charge. So he's the one running the plays with ICE. He's the ones running the plays with going after the left. He's the one that's running the play with this directive that Trump just signed. Now, this is number two. First was the 800 generals, right? That was what we wanted to highlight, to speak about how everything has changed, right? Because undoubtedly there's going to be some type of consequence that comes out of that blunder that we just saw, right? Um, but it put this man in the crosshairs, right? This is Pete. This is Pistol Pete. This is Mr. Crusader Pete. Okay. This is Pistol Pete. He has the same tats on him, right? That that shit right there that he got on him, that goes right to Christian nationalists. So the same way that somebody who's in a gang will have certain tats on them that undoubtedly put them in the gang, he has his tats on him that undoubtedly place him into the quote unquote gang. So the man in charge of the Department of War is an anti-Muslim Christian nationalist crusader, right? He's running shit. So he's trying to get these men on his quote unquote frequency, right? But even if they're not on the frequency, guess who's on the frequency?
Ice, ice, baby.
Baby, too cold, too cold.
Ice, ice, baby.
Baby, too cold, too cold. Ice, ice, baby. Right?
Big time.
Remember, they don't need the army right now to carry out what they're trying to carry out. They just caught a budget for ICE. Okay. ICE just caught a budget that made them the biggest law enforcement agency damn near in the world.
Bruh, I heard the numbers of some of the other departments that got absorbed into. I heard they took up 90% of the wildlife and game services niggas.
They
Like
got
they're not playing,
$37
bro.
billion. $37 billion. $37 billion goes to ICE. And you already see how they move it around right now with the shiesties on, running down on people with the gats out. They got $37 billion. So and all you need is a GED, I think, or a diploma to get into ICE. 75 billion under over the next 3 years. So you're looking at the staged you're looking at the staged you're looking at a staged ICE production where they're going to provoke an act of quote unquote provocation in one of those cities that they're provoking people in, albeit Memphis, right, where the kings go to die, albeit Chicago, right, the Windy City, where the FOI and so much history, Jeff Fort, Fred Hampton, you know what I'm talking about? The Mecca. They're gonna provoke something to happen somewhere because remember, ICE is part of the powder crag. ICE is the brown shirts. ICE is the ones that are gonna knock doors down and quote unquote rendition and unalive and disappear, do all of the things that the army can't do because of passe comitatus, right? The army's hands are tied, right? The army they can't turn the army on the people, but they could turn ICE on the people. Now, $150 starting with 50 signing bonus. So they're giving them $150 a year with a 50 signing
Plus a
bonus.
50K advance up front is crazy, dog.
Right. So with the economy going the way that it's going, and with them, imagine if they said to certain people who are trying to get their the George Zimmermans of the world, right? Nick is Mexican, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nick is Mexican, right?
He one of
Charlie
them
had
white passing Johns.
huh?
He one of them white passing.
Right, one of the white passing ones. So when they start offering, opportunities just to be able to feed your family when AI is taking a bunch of stuff and there's so many other things that are being swallowed up, you will begin to see more ICE, because they got 35 billion. So what you see right now is not ICE. The people running around with bacalavas, nigga, that's not ICE. This whole we running
Privately
down on
funded
Mexicans
militia.
at Home Depot, yeah, like that's not really ICE. That's ICE before it gets cold. You think that you seen some cold shit? That's not ICE fully frozen. Mm-mm. That's water.
Mm.
Them niggas is getting that's water. That's water in Home Depot's parking lot. You ain't seen ICE yet. It didn't crystallize. Yeah, that's slushy, baby. You ain't seen ICE yet. You know? So the next thing, the big thing that took place that needs to be spoken about while we were being distracted, because a lot of shit is going down, but this needs to be highlighted, right? Is now this is also something that I want you to pay attention to. The JTTF, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, because that's also the Martian army that Trump is going to use to enforce this right here, right? This right here. This is what people is not talking about. The NSPM-7, right? This is a national security presidential memoranda. Now, when they sign executive orders, which Trump has over 200 plus, an executive order is not the same and does not hold the same weight as a national security presidential memoranda. That's the top dog shit that goes across all agencies. That becomes law. There's only 7 of them. Okay. The sixth one is classified. There's only 7 of them. Right. This is how important these are. So he just dropped this shit the other day. And this is called the most prominent one that he issued. They said is the one focused on countering domestic terrorism. On September the 25th, President Trump signed NSPM 7 titled Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence. It outlines a national strategy, to do what? to investigate and disrupt entities and individuals involved in political violence. Key directives include expanding investigations beyond individuals to encompass organizations and funding sources, scrutinizing tax exempt groups and their funders perceived as promoting violence, disrupting financial networks funding domestic terrorism, and potentially designating groups as domestic terrorist organizations. These are other NSPMs that they signed in 2025. The first one concerns the organization of the National Security Council. The second one addresses the strategy for imposing maximum pressure on Iran. The third one establishes an America First investment policy. The fourth one directs a military mission to secure the southern U.S. border. And the fifth one reissues and amends a previous NSPM regarding policy towards Cuba. Remember, they was trying to twist Cuba's arm about Asada,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Let's also keep in mind that ARPA, DARPA, the precursor to the internet, was built specifically for this kind of counterinsurgents activity like that. This is
Right.
what ARPA was built on, is what they were doing, and then they made the network so they could stop any form of resistance before it even got the chance to get off the ground. So this is like he's literally like hitting the kill switch on the internet that was always there. Like he's doing exactly what the shit is for.
Right. So here it goes. The countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. Now he left this thing very open ended. It's left up for interpretation. Okay. And is given these agencies carte blanche to, you know, get back on their COINTELPRO slash,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that type of things. Just with Pete, with the two Pete's, with Pistol Pete and the two Stevens and a bunch of other people breathing down the necks of what they perceive to be the far left or whatever. This is a part of their culture war. This is a part of their culture war. This is a part of their culture war. They're a war that they fighting with themselves. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's a weird battle that they're fighting, because they're literally fighting themselves. Because the
It's
average
crazy.
melanated person don't give a fuck, don't care. It don't affect them. Not that they think, you know what I mean? Like they like whatever, you know what I mean? Like it just don't matter. But they are trying to provoke. That's the thing. It's
They
not
need a
about
response, yeah.
they need your response. They need your response. So I'm gonna check the, I got a few videos I'm gonna play.
Yeah, let's get it.
A few videos we're gonna play as we walk this thing down. You know, there are there's been a flood of truth telling on my timeline that I probably haven't seen in years. And let me tell you something. These videos are mostly white on white bread with a little bit of Candace Owens thrown in there every now and then. Candace is at their barbecue with their raisin potato salad,
Potato salad.
cooking. Yeah, cooking like Ving Rhames and Baby Boy. She's cooking with nothing on. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Candace is all in their kitchen cooking these niggas. You feel me? And there's white people from all walks of life. I saw a video the other day where a European woman, she looked like a cat mom, and she was watching the Stephen Miller. She was like, "Yo, I'm a former white supremacist, and I'm gonna decode everything that this man is saying in the video." A white woman, right? Broke the whole shit down, was pausing it, was like, yeah, this what he really means, this what he said, this what he really means, this is what they taught us, and this what he meant by saying that.
Straight dog whistles.
There's a they have to be panicking at this point.
Oh,
there's so much information being leaked by people of all walks of life. There's an awakening taking place. There's a mass awakening taking place. These people's plans have backfired, family. I don't know what the fuck they came out here trying to do, but whatever they tried to do, it ain't work because more people is waking up and being like, wait a minute, I have not heard so many people talking down on Is It Real than I've been hearing lately. These is hitters too.
This is the other side of all this hyperstitional magic shit we be talking about, right? If you are in an environment where you can make fiction reality through belief, what happens when you put the fiction out and then niggas start chopping up your narrative instantly? It makes it hard to believe, which then gets into this whole plausible deniability, reasonable doubt type, and there you go. Reasonable doubt is where you lose niggas because now you turn back on the disbelief. You see what I'm saying? You had the suspended disbelief. You almost had niggas think, but then Candace got on your ass. What are you gonna do now?
That whole Charlie spell got dismantled in mid-flight. That shit is done.
Hey,
like,
yo, let me tell you,
people even saying he did, huh?
I was gonna say, yo, the amount of time since we've done that lecture that I've heard niggas use the word ontological. We might have been the ones to really cook his shit. Like we might have opened up the floodgates on a level to where it kind of set off a light bulb in Candace's head. You see what I'm saying? On some Wi-Fi shit,
bro. I heard that shit twice already. But check this out, because there's real world results. So even though people are not jacking that story like that, it's still spillover into the real world. There's still spillover into the real world. So regardless of what is taking place, we still got people getting quote unquote activated. Check this out.
70 miles per hour. That's how fast cops say a 17-year-old mowed down two teen girls riding on an e-bike. Now video has surfaced of the suspect shortly after the crash, laughing on a gaming site.
It's the creepy laugh of an accused killer. We're learning new information about 17-year-old Vincent Battaloro, accused of intentionally slamming his Jeep into two best friends as they rode an e-bike. According to just-released court papers, police say he was driving 70 miles an hour when he plowed into 17-year-olds Maria Neotis and Isabella Salas. We found this video of Battaloro on a gaming site talking about pranking Maria by sending a pizza to her house. She reportedly had spurned his advances and had filed for a restraining order against him.
Hi, can I place an order for delivery, please? Can I get 2 large pepperoni pizzas? It'll be cash at the door.
He then lets out that demonic laugh. He tells viewers it's all because allegedly Maria had made fun of Charlie Kirk.
Whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his death. Stupid clown.
A fellow gamer asks if he'll drive to Maria's house to watch the pizza be delivered.
Oh, I did that the last time, but the mother saw me pull up in the car, and I got tracked, and the police, did what they did.
Battaloro made the video 9 days ago. On Monday, when the two girls were killed, police say Badaloro fled the scene before they found and detained him and issued him an astonishing 15 tickets. But he was not arrested because he claimed it was an accident. The next day, Badaloro went online to express his condolences.
In a neighboring town, unfortunately, two girls were killed in a hit-and-run crash. I wish my sincerest condolences.
On Wednesday, after police discovered his connections to Maria Niotis, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Last night, Maria's mother spoke out.
She wasn't just my daughter. She was my best.
You see? So you see what they're creating? What if it comes to find out? Nah, but you see what's happening?
They crashing out, bro. They
Incels, right?
straight incel work, yeah.
Straight incels have been triggered. The incels are being quote unquote, the incels are the sleeper cells.
Mm-hmm.
Incels are the sleeping cells who've been getting fed all of this red meat over the over video game networks over years and whatnot. Over years, crashing out, right? Let us continue because we need to check. You know, under this moon, we're gonna do a little bit of analyzing, you know, these meta yahoos.
Yeah, let's cook them again.
These meta yahoos. Let's check them out.
In the white evangelical church that to be a Christian is to be a Republican. There has been a 50-year indoctrination in the white evangelical church that to be a Christian is to be a Republican. It's verifiable. Watch the Bad Faith documentary, read a book called The Power Worshippers, watch the God and Country documentary, read Star Spangled.
I like how he's dropping those receipts, the books, the documentaries, you know, load them up.
Jesus by April LaJoy, the 50-year indoctrination, because it started about 50 years ago when there was that party transition. Because, you know, black folk used to be Republicans prior to about 50 years ago. And then we made a switch because the Republican Party started with the Southern strategy to pull in all the racist white people to build their base with them.
You start out in 1954 by saying by 1968 you can't say that hurts your backfire, so you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now, you're talking about cutting taxes and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than white.
That's Republican Lee Atwater describing Nixon's Southern strategy that Republicans have used for the past 60 years to appeal to resentful white voters.
So when they started doing that 50 years ago, they were telling people when they would join the church, all right, now you need to vote Republican. That has been happening for 50 years. You know what their strategy was for the black church? Don't talk about politics. Keep people disengaged from the political process.
Keep in mind, the same 50 years is when hip hop rose up. So we're looking at the same 50-year window where we have the rise of the evangelical churches, the rise of these black apologist churches, and also the rise of what was supposed to be the voice of the oppressed and whatnot, a whole culture.
So
you were saying something?
Go ahead.
Philip Anthony Mitchell does not have to tell his congregation to vote against their best interests. He just preaches in a way every week that conditions people to accept their oppression, to focus on other things that have nothing to do with the stuff that actually impacts their quality of life. So he's never said anything about the government taking away SNAP benefits. He's never said anything about the government taking away health care and Medicaid from people that actually need it. He's not saying anything about ICE rounding up people all over the country, even when they're going through the legal process, because his job is to keep the niggas pacified.
And I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, the
The
fuck?
proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? None of these churches will even dare speak about the synagogue of Satan. None of these churches would even dare question anything that's even going on, as outlandish as it is. You know what I mean? They do not want to take these stances.
Year in doctrine.
They 501c3s. They damn near Zionists just by the paperwork
Just by the
alone.
paperwork, right?
Article that my brother had sent to her. So my mom woke me up this morning to show me a news article that my brother had sent to her. My ex, Javon Maurice Gavan, was found hanging in a tree in the woods in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Not even a month after covering the Trey Reed story, another black man has been found hanging from a tree. And this time I actually knew him. Like, this is actually so insane to me. And do you know what they're saying? They are ruling this a suicide. They found another black person hanging in the woods, hanging from a tree. And they're saying he did it to himself. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I honestly don't even know how to feel right now. And I don't know what was going on in his life at the time. But if one thing's for certain, two things are for sure. He did not hang himself in the fucking woods. And as morbid as it sounds, we actually used to talk about shit like this when we were together. And if you actually knew him at any point, at any time in his life, you would know him, just like every other black person in America, would never choose to be hanged from a tree. And do I believe that the police did their job at any point during this investigation? Absolutely not. Just like they never do. So just like Trey Reed in Mississippi, they are trying to sweep this under the rug, but I'm not going to let them. And I don't know how censored or how many TikTok words I will use to replace the actual language. So I don't know if this is actually going to get suppressed or if it will get out there. And if you feel the urge to get in my comments with your condescending, patronizing bullshit, I urge you to keep scrolling and have the day that you fucking deserve. You can keep your fake sorries and your lack of empathy and move the fuck around. Like, do y'all honestly believe in your heart of hearts that it is common practice for black Americans to hang themselves in trees when it is y'all history of hanging and lynching that this country is so desperate to erase? So let me be as clear as I can. If you are silent, you are complicit. If you are patronizing, you are complicit. If you see the racial climate in dumps America and still fix your lips to give fake condolences for a cover-up, you are complicit. And you're one of the worst type of human beings. And I haven't seen this story on my For You page or on TikTok at all. So if you could please spread the word.
Hey, like, does the family see what time it is? Because they're not playing. They're about to get into that zone and get into that bag for real, for real. They really trying to hit you with the okie doke, like the real deal okie doke right now. And this is where,
Right. I was just showing those two. I showed the two girls that got mowed down. Then I showed the young man that got hung, just to show people while they boo-hooing and giving Captain Kirk and Mr. Charlie all of their sympathy. His people are out there spilling blood for the martyr. Remember, they made him a martyr. So what do you do for martyrs? You spill blood to martyrs. Martyrs get blood sacrifices.
especially under a harvest moon.
Right. That's why they kept saying he's a martyr. He's a martyr. Martyrs get blood sacrifice. You know what I mean? You feed a martyr with a human sacrifice. So that's how they're gonna. That's how they are going to feed the idea of Captain Kirk. You know, he already has Trey Reed, who the second autopsy came back and it came to the conclusion that he was murdered. right? This was the one in Mississippi. Okay. Kaepernick paid for the second autopsy, coming to find out that he did not die of a suicide. So what is alarming is if these cases are not being are being suppressed, are being censored, are being buried and whatnot in lieu of Cardi and Nicki Minaj beefing or something, then what it's showing whoever is concerned, what it may be showing you is that in the near future, if they wanted to really block communications of things that are going on inside of the borders of the America, which may get blocked off by that wall in Mexico and other places, you might just want to, you know what I mean? You might want to ask yourself that question, if these quote unquote situations are not even raising the alarms of anyone. It's not, not to say that people are supposed to be reactionary, but let it been one of them.
Exactly. And to double down on your point about the cutting off of communication, we're already seeing these type moves being tested out in other regions of the world. Afghanistan just got their internet back. You see what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers went and cut the fiber optic cables. Like, ain't no IT support for that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta go rebuild the entire infrastructure. You like this is what I'm getting at. It's very easy. They don't have to turn the lights off on you niggas at this point. I grew up thinking that would be the scenario. You see what I'm saying? Like, they cut off the lights, everybody gets to fighting, you know what I'm saying, after those first 3 days, and that cut off the internet. Just cut you niggas off from any we seen it with leave the earth behind. You see what I'm saying? All they did was shut down the communication networks. They didn't have to do anything super duper.
Great.
At this point, we're so tied into the infrastructure of the internet that just a few hours without it could allow them to push so much shit forward right under the nose of the entire planet, right? They can get it off, and it don't matter if you recorded it. That video is never making it to the global stream, to the global feed. No one's going to see it outside of this. So again, this is just like that purge situation where the lockdown isn't there's a physical component to it, right? Because again, like, this hyper reality still needs some type of link into the physical world because it's feeding off of the physical world. But then we're also dealing with this notion that it's more so this, again, this hyper realistic lock-in, or 2020 was a lockdown. What you're about to see from 2025 moving to 2030 is a lock-in.
Right.
You're locked in with them now, right? And you could be on some Hitman shit and be like, you know what I'm saying? You're locked in the room with me and you just brought me my gun type shit. But it comes with understanding the nature of the game that's being played. And this is why I think it's very important that we're looking at Candace chopping up this hyperstition the way they can't get it off. They can't get it off, right? So now they're going for the rage quit option, right? They mad they can't win the way they want, so now they're going to unplug the whole shit. So that way none of you niggas score can get recorded. Like, they'll drag us all to hell with them. Is the ultimate final solution. Is if they can't run this earth, then none of you can have it. Can't burn it down. Off of this shit and Parasite, then none of you niggas get to live parasite free.
Right.
Simple as that.
Let's go to some more flicks, some more videos.
Trump was put in by the bankers to get the control grid. The other team in the Uniparty wasn't moving fast enough. They couldn't get the control grid. I sent you a link. We just did a new collection of all the things Trump is doing to move the control grid. He is moving very, very fast. When it comes to building, first he's getting the Real ID implemented very aggressively. Real ID, to do a control grid, you need a very high quality precision national ID that's interoperable with all the other IDs around the world. And he's got Kristi Noem out there pushing the Real ID like there's no tomorrow. So they're working, and it's done through the states, but the feds are pushing it. So the first thing you need is a digital ID. The second thing you need is an all-digital financial system. So you got to kill cash, and you got to make everybody interact digitally. And if you look at what he's doing with taxes and Social Security, he's trying to make everybody, he's canceled pennies, but he's also canceled now. Normally I pay my taxes with paper, and now he's saying, no, you got to do everything digital. It's not this year, but next year.
Really?
So he's trying to, if you go through that list, I've got 50 different items of what he's doing. And if you look at what they're doing with the Genius Act and stablecoin, he said no CBDCs, but stablecoin. So I don't know if you've read the Genius Act, which is the new plan for stablecoins. Okay. A CBDC would be issued by the Federal Reserve. So presumably the New York Fed and the Fed member banks. Okay. Now, they are owned by their members. So Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, they own, as members, they own the New York Fed and, basically govern it. Okay. And the New York Fed is the depository for the Treasury, and the different banks work as agent to do those transactions. Okay. So now under the Genius Act, what they're saying is the guys who own the New York Fed are all going to create subsidiaries and issue stablecoin, which will be interoperable and can work with a social credit system. Now, here's the beauty of it. The New York Fed, under the law, has direct obligations to Congress, and Congress has jurisdiction over them. If you do it through the owners of the Fed, through their private subsidiaries, you're going to have some degree of freedom. So it gives you more freedom.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So if you think this is improvement, you have another thing coming.
They about to devalue all of the debt by switching over to the crypto.
Right. Right.
Oldest play in the book. Anything to avoid the gold.
Mm-hmm.
But
what
again,
are your thoughts
in a
on
hyper reality, you need hyper real money.
Right. What are your thoughts on what she said about Trump and the control grid?
I think that's exactly what these boys are really trying to get at. It's the parasitic panopticon. The whole internet was built on control logic. They said what they could predict. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They maintain, they control. You see what I'm saying?
Theory.
This is all it boils down to is how do we gain as much leverage and control on each individual player in the game to shift outcomes the way we want. So again, when I brought up during the lecture the fact that John von Neumann set the control theory for how the internet was built out,
right?
Then you see them building out with the help of the CIA a company named Palantir, which is a fucking seeing eye glass type of Black Mirror type entity.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Then the play becomes very obvious. The control was always the end game. They want to know everywhere you're going, everywhere you're doing. They want all the data from that so they can use that data to construct the hyper reality of the virtual reality that they're gonna start pushing next. It's again just stacking up to the transhumanism. So got to keep track of where everyone is. So that way, when this shit lock in and lock down on that level, I know who's in the game and who isn't, and where I need to go to neutralize certain special war potentials type shit. I'm gonna use a certain term from a anime that I like, but it's certain like special war potentials. Right. In that anime Bleach, it's 5 particular characters that represented a threat to the invading force that they could not predict accurately. Literally, that was the whole reason that those 5 characters were chosen as special war potentials. It's like these niggas are either so powerful or so crafty and genius in the way that they move around that I can't accurately predict that in a one-on-one conflict with these niggas, I would win or come out unscathed in a way that will allow me to continue this campaign.
Right. They quantum. They move in quantum.
They need to know who is too dangerous to fuck with. The devil knows who to bother. My grandma always said it to me. The devil knows who to bother and who not to hit up with that shit.
All right. They're not gonna. They only gonna fuck with the weak.
Bro,
They cannot fight. They
can't.
They can't match. They
So you know the secrets of a hyper sigil. You know the secrets of hyperstition. You know what sense does it make for them to come fuck with you when you're fully bought into your reality? Is that even air you're breathing, Neo? You see, and this is where we now get into the deeper conversation of whatever you think the Matrix is, fuck that, you're already in the Matrix.
Right.
Don't wait for the pod with all the tubes and you got to unplug the shit. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for that. You already here now with it.
Right.
And this is the greater point of what I'm saying. They can't fuck with you because you know the magic, you know the mechanisms, you know the methods that are being used to conduct this war. Again, silent weapons for quiet wars or quiet weapons, silent wars. It doesn't matter. All of this shit's on mute. So you don't gotta say what it is. You just need to sigilize it. You need to digitize it. You need to memify it. You see what I'm saying? Gamify the shit, right? Because they know all the pieces on the board, right? But that doesn't mean they can control every piece on the board. They can suggest. That's what all of this shit's been this whole time, is just the art of suggestion.
Right.
So that's where we have to really say they might be able to see all the pieces on the board. They might be able to control a large swath of the pieces on the board, but the pieces they can't control are what they are actually doing all of this about. The niggas they could predict, they could have predicted 50 years ago. They built all this AI shit to predict you niggas that they can't. That's why they need all these quantum computers to crunch the numbers, bro, because what you are would take trillions of years to calculate in a way that's meaningful. They need all this shit to go online now, but war is the pretense that allows for unlimited technological acceleration. They can skip past all the ethical conversation about it.
Upgraded technology.
They can skip right past it.
Right. War is an accelerator for technology.
Always. Especially in this, I'm gonna stop calling it a death cult. It's an anti-life war cult. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's always been the thing. War was always how they got their blessings. War was always how they made life better for themselves. The promised land had to be fought for. They had to spill blood on the promised land in order to secure their ownership. Yahweh, El, Baal, any of these niggas you want to Moloch, any of these, and that's why I said the Tower of Babel conversation comes in my mind, because we're seeing it again. They're building that tower that they feel is going to compete with the living force. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to unify this whole thing under one system, right? It doesn't matter when they say language, like let's get a little more figurative and less literal about what we mean when we say language. A language could be a system. You see what I'm saying? Just a unifying system that they've used to capture all of humanity. And when they build that tower, they piss off the wrong forces because they fuck with the wrong entities, and then a rock gets thrown. And then it cracks the firmament and it floods they shit out. You see what I'm saying? Or the clouds part, and then they got to deal with the return of the Christ, which is what they don't want, which is why Peter Thiel is out here running around talking about the Antichrist.
Right.
So that's I know that was long-winded as hell,
Nah.
but that's the control mechanism at play in its fullest detail.
Facts. All right, let's go to some more tape.
Has basically three goals. The first is to use the surveillance state, both existing and this idea of this. Project Esther has basically three goals. The first is to use the surveillance state, both existing and this idea of this kind of tech surveillance state set up by Peter Thiel, one of the major authors of Back to Techno-Feudalism, right? He has Palantir, which is a company that is mainly focused on surveillance tools. So to use all these surveillance tools to identify specifically left-wing critics of Israel throughout the country, so with a special focus on students and universities, because that's where a lot of protests happen. And then to label any type of criticism towards Israel as anti-Semitism, and specifically to label those critics as supporters of and therefore part of a support network. And that language is kind of the center of Project Esther, right? If you are critical of Israel, you are part of a support network, and therefore you yourself are.
Yeah, we've already seen that.
Right. And then to take action against those people and institutions. So what does that look like? That looks like visa revocations and deportations, which we've seen. Revoking university grants, getting professors fired. You know, a lot of that has been happening already over the last couple of decades. Project Esther focuses on using RICO, which is anti-racketeering legislation, and FARA, which is Foreign Agents Registration Act, and other laws like that to systematically criminalize and prosecute these people. Right. So they're saying that if you are speaking out against Israel at all, you are part of a criminal organization, a support network, an organized crime group, and they're going to prosecute you not just through the normal intimidation tactics, but through things like RICO, which they use to prosecute like mafias and gangs.
Nah, bro, they putting a RICO on the world, bro.
They bringing Rico.
Nah, bro, they putting a RICO on the whole population.
So that peep the play of it. Yeah, peep the play how everything is a quagmire, and this is what I've been seeing. Everybody on the right, because of what Candace is doing, and a few other people, the Nick Fuentes influence, they all banging on "Is it real?" Like all over TikTok, all over X, all over YouTube, all over Rumble. Like the right wing niggas is lit. They lit right now. Let's just be they lit. But they're all leaning against these people. So are they gonna be on a RICO? Are they being lined up for the RICO? I mean, like, you know, because somebody is playing the double, somebody is setting someone up. Like, you know what I mean? Because with these people's hands, remember, they lead with propaganda, they lead with deception. It's you believe nothing that you see, right? Nothing that you see you could believe, and half of what you hear. So I'm like, are they putting is it real putting some of the right wing podcasters up to this? Are they black pilling and red pilling the Republican right, because they passed on all of these bills? So if they could prove that you were spreading any type of information, or if you were, you know what I mean, they could possibly Guantanamo you, or they could give you a RICO, or you know.
But then, all right, nah, that makes perfect sense. Play both sides of the shit. Catch him at the courthouse type shit. You know what I'm saying? On a certain level.
Right.
That makes perfect sense to basically just line up the play. It's easy. Like it's right there for you. It's just wild to see it happening all at once in real time. You see what I'm saying? Because all right, if you go for the RICO, right, you have to prove some level of organization, right?
Right.
So what are the organizations that they want to go against, right? So like you said, all right, they want to capture a certain aspect of the right-wing audience that is going to dissent. So they want all of the anti-Zionists, right? They want to catch all of them, right? So they're the ones putting out the information about all of their AI shit, just basically fueling the dissent
Right.
by letting you know how fucked up. Which then leads me to say, well, damn, how much of this shit is even real then? Like, all right, cool, like, yes, lavender or whatever, right? But like, are we certain? Like, we for sure they got these things, or are they just saying they got these things because it builds the narrative and gets them to jump out the window and take the bait?
Right.
The Holy Father going to.
So let's go into another video real quick, because these are the people that we're dealing with.
Bodies of African American men and women were propped up on this statue on September 22nd, 1906. This is also the day that the Black Wall Street of Atlanta met its demise. In the 1880s, Atlanta.
So the more I do my research, the more I find out that there was more than one black. I mean, I knew that there was more than one Black Wall Street, but how is it that there's all of these Black Wall Streets this finding themselves with the same story? How is it that all of our black cities that are like killing fields and open air drug markets, they all had these thriving communities once upon a time? Like, where's this books on that? Where are the series on that? Where are the movies on that? Where's the storylines on these damn places? Because I want to know what the hell was happening in these fucking these ghost towns. But check this out. I didn't even know. I knew this about Atlanta, but I learned more watching this.
Atlanta became the powerhouse of the South, and the black population was soaring due to the black man's new ability. Were propped up on this statue on September 22nd, 1906. This is also the day that the Black Wall Street of Atlanta met its demise. In the 1880s, Atlanta became the powerhouse of the South, and the black population was soaring due to the black man's new ability to vote, which allowed them to make a footprint in the political realm while forming new communities and businesses on their own, which of course created tension within the white working class communities. This provoked some white leaders to pull some strings to prevent the mixing of success within the communities. Due to this fear of intermingling, an expansion of the Jim Crow law came into place, creating absurd motives of segregation. This also caused a divide in the black community, pushing black elites away from the working class blacks, as most.
Does this sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Does this play right here? Does this sound like a old playbook that old rusty play, my G?
Working class blacks were just seen as Negroes that ran around the streets of Atlanta, getting drunk or committing crimes. Since whites were uncomfortable with the black elites, they began to blame all the crimes on the black working class. In 1906, political leaders started to validate these fears, leading Hoke Smith and Clark Howell to basically gaslight the black community through the newspaper. Through the news outlet, the Atlanta Georgian, now known as the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, whites were influenced by propaganda on black people, warning them to watch out for the threat of the black man, blaming all assaults, rape, and various other crimes on black people. The goal was to put blacks in their place and maintain social order. But of course, it did so much worse than that. They had no interest in allowing black people to stand alongside them in the social order. On September 22nd, 1906, the media released 4 alleged assaults on white women, with gruesome details. This led angry white men along with their sons to downtown Atlanta, where they would protest against the Black Wall Street. City leaders attempted to calm the protests, but failed. Hours later, white men raided Decatur Street, Pryor Street, and Central Avenue.
Pryor Street, that's where the jail is at, right? Black Wall Street, Atlanta, before this new iteration, a whole nother economy in this other Black Wall Street. This wasn't strip clubs and motherfucking So Def albums, my niggas. This was a whole nother economy that built up Black Wall Street. This wasn't reality television and Tyler Perry. It's the same story every single time. So these are the people who are being riled up right now. These are the people who are being provocative right now. These are the ancestors. These are the same people, man.
The white militia began to take over downtown. They broke windows, set fires, and even invaded streetcars, taking black men and women and killing them. By midnight, the militia had fully taken over downtown Atlanta. As it began to rain, blacks fled from Wall Street. All the blacks that were killed were drug up to the Henry Grady statue, where they'd be propped as an example.
So the Grady Hospital is where people brag about being born. The Grady Hospital is where they'll drag your ass if anything happens to you in these mean Atlanta streets. And this is the fucking statue that they drug black people to hang them on when they basically were spiking, they were piking them. Like, you know, back in the days, they would put your head on a pike. You know what I mean? They would put your head or your body on a pike. So they put the bodies on the statue.
With that statue, of course, being a symbol for the New South. As blacks fled the city, they secretly held onto their weapons just in case there was a second attack. And of course, white vigilantes continued to follow them into their communities. 2 days later, on September 24th, a group of African Americans held a meeting in Brownsville, which is about 2 miles south of downtown. This group of African Americans were heavily armed, and word was sent to the Fulton County Police of this gathering. With fears of a counterattack, Fulton County Police raided Brownsville and seized them of their weapons. An all-out war broke out in Brownsville, only adding to the deaths of more African American men, and putting over 250 of these men behind bars. On September 25th, the city of Atlanta put an end to this violence, stating that the massacre was creating a negative image for Atlanta being a New South city. Black elites would practice with whites to show that there was no war between them in the South. They basically put a band-aid on the situation, saying that there was no need for an intervention in the South. Black elites began to leave Atlanta, separating themselves from the black working class and leaving them to pick up the pieces in Atlanta. During this massacre, over 45 African Americans were killed, but only 10 death certificates were distributed, branding Atlanta as one of the most segregated cities in America.
You learn something new every day, you know. You definitely learn something new every day. You smell me? Yeah, they got a Brownsville out here. They got a Brownsville in Miami as well, and I think they got a Brownsville in Texas, and they got a Brownsville in Brooklyn. But yeah, there's stories that need to be told, ladies and gentlemen. You know, then after that, you get the Ku Klux Klan on Stone Mountain in 1915. But and then you get Sherman burning down Atlanta. So if Sherman came in a Civil War, what's that, 67 and whatnot, and burnt down Atlanta, and then you had race riots where they destroyed our Black Wall Street and massacred us, and the numbers like that, that's crazy. That's
absolutely
crazy.
wild.
People doing business with them. That's crazy. And nobody talk about that out here. Like, we had to dig that one up. So check this out as we examine the same people. These are the people who are trying to play moral police on the internet. These are the people who are trying to put out all type of mandates and edicts against people speaking or I don't know what they're saying, but they're saying if you're speaking against America, you're a domestic. If you're doing all of these, no, but if you're telling the truth about what your people did, then what is that called? Because this needs to be taught to everyone.
U.S. churches were full-fledged stakeholders in slavery. Episcopal, Presbyterian, Baptist, Methodist, major denominations owned enslaved people, rented them out, and in some cases, they confined them in jail-like pens beneath or beside their sanctuaries, while white Christians prayed upstairs. Black men, women, and children were shackled below, treated as inventory instead of human beings. Now, it was common for enslavers to require their slaves to go to church so that they could learn about being a humble slave to their masters. But these people held in the pens below were livestock waiting to be sold, being punished. Who knows what? Georgetown University's Jesuit priests sold 272 enslaved people in 1838 to pay off school debts. In Charleston, St. Philip's, and St. Michael's, they forced black attendees into upper galleries while white parishioners sat in comfort below. Methodist ministers in the South regularly enslaved people as personal property. And of course, many ministers in the South enslaved people as personal property. Southern Baptists split from Northern Baptists in 1845 for one reason: to defend their right to keep enslaved people. Churches built slave galleries to force enslaved people to attend services, but not sit with white people. And the sermons told them to obey their masters. But the people locked in the church pens, they weren't taken upstairs to worship. They were confined like livestock. They were waiting to be sold, rented, or punished. The church baptized enslaved people. They preached a lot about obedience, and they promised them life after death in heaven, while profiting from their stolen lives on earth. This is white history, and white Christians especially need to own it.
White.
My username works as my address in case I disappear. Get curious.
See, so these are the American citizens that are enraging people like Pistol Pete, you know, Stephen the Precious. You know, they want full Karen activity. They want Karen affiliations. They want affiliate groups with Karen in the name, or you know, they want their, you know what I'm saying, like they want their white women on Karen time. Whites, they despise the quote unquote, remember this is about the great replacement, so they despise the traders at this point in the game. They are going to probably have those people feel like they're going to be hunted down, henceforth. The heavy hand on Antifa, which isn't really even a group. It's really it's an idea,
a political stance on
political
some shit,
stance.
like an ideology, but not a group in and of itself. Yeah,
it's not a group. It's not a movement. Anti-fascist.
Like, you don't like fascism? Cool.
Right.
I don't like fascism either. All right. No one should really like fascism though. Like it's
right. The great Karenism movement. Got Karen suffrage movements, ladies and gentlemen, and they feel like, you know, they can sleep better at night if they tell the truth, you know what I mean? Because they don't like what's going on with Tyrone and them, you know what I mean? They're feeling like, you know, y'all are treating Tyrone and them heavy-handed, so we're gonna speak up. We're gonna speak our truths, and this is
like some big weighing of the heart ceremony on some shit. Like they gotta get it off before that scale drop.
For that damn shit, before that Atlas get here, they like, man,
Atlas get here,
karma, my dharma. All right, let's check this out, because we find complicit in the highest pews of the church. We find complicity. Check this hypocritical act out.
Going to Gaza to be with the victims. He instead is visiting with a perpetrator of genocide. Would be just like inviting Hitler into the Vatican during World War II. President going to Gaza. Instead of the Holy Father going to Gaza to be with the victims, he instead is visiting with a perpetrator of genocide. Would be just like inviting Hitler into the Vatican during World War II. President Herzog is one of the many Israelis in government who have said there are no civilians in Gaza, no civilians. To the Vatican, I have repeatedly, almost daily, begged the Pope to go to Gaza. I've written to the bishops. Even Madonna was so touched by the suffering of the children in Gaza that she appealed to the Pope to go to Gaza. The previous Pope was Pope Francis. Every night he called Holy Family Church. He didn't win any awards from me for that, but he was doing something. But this Pope is meeting with the perpetrators. We're repeating the great sin of silence, of complicity that we had during World War II. The Catholic Church did hardly anything to support the people, the victims of Hitler. Go to Gaza immediately.
So you got a pope, a sitting pope, meeting with the president of Israel while they out there bombing churches in Jerusalem. That's nasty work.
Zionism at its finest, baby.
At its finest. Yeah, like that's nasty work. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely crazy, yo. If this don't prove that these boys have an agenda that they're trying to fulfill at this point, like the Bible is a prophecy playbook for them. Like it has all the things they need to get whatever new world order
is suffering because a small number of money hoarding.
My bad. Continue.
No. You good.
But I applaud.
What does Israel have on our country? Israel's controlling our government.
I applaud.
What does Israel have on our country? Israel's controlling our government.
I just applaud the damn. Today is August the 7th. Officially on my timeline, it's October the 7th, and it will make it 2 years since the assault took place. I believe. Is it 3? Can't even keep up.
No, I can't even remember. Yeah, 2 or 3 years though.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
The way that
awesome. Oh, go keep going. Yeah. I was just
perfectly
synchronized with
the way that the world's eyes have opened up and the shift that has taken place.
Anyone that wants to take the stage,
where a group who had a lot of wool over people's eyes, they've lost that privilege.
anyone that wants to take the stage,
they've lost that privilege. They've lost that positioning. They've lost that that facade has been removed.
The first is to use the surveillance state, both existing and this idea of this kind of tech surveillance state set up by Peter Thiel.
70 miles per hour.
Yeah. Hold on.
So my mom woke me up this morning to show me a news article.
So let's check out one of these clips real quick and see what these patriots have to say. Let's go check the divine feminine. Let's see what sis have to say.
The entire world is suffering because a small number of money-hoarding, megalomaniacal white men afraid of dying are struggling to cope and grapple with the reality that they are outnumbered and on their way to extinction. So they are playing God by misinterpreting and weaponizing religious texts in favor of Anglo-Saxon white supremacy that are upholding the white cis hetero patriarchal ethnocentrist ideology that these men are not made in the image of God. Rather, the image of God is likened to them, and they believe their role on this earth is to have dominion over all things natural in order to synthesize an unnatural reality at the expense of everybody who does not identify like them to satiate their inflated and fearful egos.
There you have it.
That sounds about right. That sounds about what?
Sounds just about right. Check this out though. Let's take the deep dive, y'all.
anyone that wants to take the stage and talk about dual loyalty is dead wrong. What this organization represents, what Western civilization represents today, is an understanding that Zionism and Americanism are the front lines of Western civilization and freedom in our world today.
Keep watching.
Zionism and Nazism are two sides of the same coin.
Well, they actually did mint a coin. Zionism and Nazism cooperated to get Jews out of Germany because both of them believed that Jews should not be in Germany. That's a matter of historical fact.
He said he was supportive.
You don't actually need to bring the historian from America. You could bring many historians from Israel. This is not a secret. It's only a secret to those now waking up to it. They were cooperating because they had the same idea that the European Jews should not be in Europe. They should be in Palestine.
But wait, there's more. Was a man by the name of Theodor Herzl, H-E-R-Z-L. He was the founder of Zionism. He said that he was going to find the state that God promised the Jews. Listen to this very carefully. This man, Herzl, was an atheist. He believed that there was no God. He said God did not exist. Now, how is it that a man who believes that God does not exist is going to find a state that God promised to his chosen people? I'll tell you, this man is Satan in disguise. Zionism is a satanic movement. It is devil. It is imperialism. It is racist. It has gone and taken the lands of the Palestinian people and through terrorism has driven them out. And through terrorism, it maintains its power. And the United States of America, with over 6 million homeless, sends to Israel billions and billions and billions of dollars everywhere to bomb Palestinian people while homeless people are here and unemployed are here.
I don't know about you, but that's not something I want to be a part of. That's not something I want to support. And it sure seems like anybody who doesn't want to support this and doesn't want to be a part of it is slowly becoming the new enemy.
Hang on to your seat, baby, because this one's a screamer. Zionism is going to raise this war and make the people in America become clear to what it is and become anti-Zionist and stop the aid to Israel and use the money to take care of the homeless in this country.
But hey, I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
Might do Stokely getting stoked.
Easy, Pete. It's that Hegelian dialectic shit. Like, they want the anti-Zionism wave to rise so that way they can go to war with it. They want you niggas to be mad so they can go to war with you. They need a justification. Otherwise, again, the devil knows who to bother, right? So that ultimately implies the devil knows under what conditions to bother you with. You see what I'm saying? So there's a particular way they have to get this off in order to not get kicked in the teeth by reality itself. Again, they're not ontologically favored. The nature of reality doesn't enjoy their existence. Right? We be talking about it in passing, like with, oh, the sun don't like them. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's an ontological conversation. The sun is the source of life in this local region. Like, so if the source of life does not agree with your presence here,
what is that saying? Right.
The only thing you can do is go to war with the reality around you, which then leads you to be an agent of hyper reality.
Gotta create.
It's the only through line that makes sense.
You have to create your own reality to thrive in it, right? In order to prosper.
You have to create somewhere where you can set the rules and change the sliders on the shit.
Because in nature, in real nature, you know, in nature's nature, you are not considered to be, you're not chosen.
Yeah.
You're not. Yeah,
it's hard to accept that reality.
Very hard. Very hard. Very, very hard. Real quick, one more.
What does Israel have on our country?
Israel's controlling our government.
Israel controls us.
Israel is in control of our government.
Just to show y'all that there's a play taking place. There is a play taking place. This is very scripted.
How much influence does Israel have on our country?
Israel's controlling our government.
Israel controls us.
Israel is in control of our government. The government of Israel controls the United States.
Israel has run American foreign policy for 30 years.
It feels like we're just owned by Israel. And we just never knew it.
Is the United States government now just taking edicts and orders from Israel?
Israel first.
Israel first.
Israel first.
This really is an Israel first administration.
Israel.
AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City.
America first means we don't go to war on behalf of other countries.
cut off aid to Israel.
I wouldn't send him a dime.
This is my country.
Who do you have allegiance to?
Do you believe America's your country or do you believe Israel's your country?
Act like an American, not an Israeli. What are you, a foreign agent?
I don't think we should be fighting wars on behalf of Israel.
Israel's wars are not America's wars.
So, as you can see, there's a quagmire taking place, and they want to involve indigenous Aboriginal people whose land has been usurped. They want us to basically put our energy into another colonizer who's usurping someone else's land. And this is a conversation that we really have to be able to see where we sit in this overall dialogue or the overall conversation. Like, it's very important. You know,
we need to be able to orient ourselves really well in a conversation because again, we can see it's just flying out. It's just flying out. Shit, I wanted to. One of the things that kept playing in my mind was that conversation Netanyahu was having with those social media influencers, talking about how that was like the new frontier of the battle space. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the new battlefront right there.
Right.
And I'm like, how can I even get to that when they already done? Like again, you just showed it. They already chopping up this whole Israel proxy war situation, which it seems like is the real reason behind them martyring Charlie, because that's apparently what Erica went running and doing, was collecting money for this Zionist rebranding, this Zionist posthumous rebranding they were going to have for Charlie Kirk. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just so interesting to see all of these pieces coming together, and that's why we have to have these conversations. It's really hard to not come back and follow it up when we can see in real time these conversations are forcing players to change strategies in real time. Like just 2 weeks ago, I thought they had this motherfucking civil war in the bag. I was about to just put my hands up and let it go, but now I'm like, nah, there's too many holes in their hyper reality. There's too many plot holes in the story for it to run good. You see what I'm saying? This is the Disney industry complex, right? Disney's gonna produce this war, right? Just like how back in the day they used to have niggas that would sit on the sidelines of the battles and take pictures and draw portraits of the niggas going to Disney. About to live stream this shit for you niggas on Amazon. Like, but what is the value of the narrative if it don't make sense? So then I would say, okay, this makes sense as to why Disney has been reducing the quality of content, so that way you niggas just buy into anything. Because in order for this to work, you'd have to buy into anything. There's too many plot holes now.
Right.
Candace is kicking a back in. My boy Nick Fuentes over there kicking a back in.
Right.
Just the general American sentiment toward Israel is cooked.
Super cooked.
Outside of this hyper evangelical shit that's going on, right? But again, that was always a demographic that was seeking to control all of the politics in America. That was always the game. Like, I need y'all to understand the past 60 years of liberalism was a break from the original agenda of this shit.
Right.
To a certain extent. And again, we can also point to the fact that, yes, the founding fathers wanted a certain separation of church and state. These niggas are Masons, yada, yada, yada. But all the people they imported to build this shit up were what? They were Masons on their own time. but they were crypto Catholics, crypto Protestants. You see what I'm saying? On the surface, they knew how to take those bases and weaponize them to get the shit off. They did it with Caesar Borgia. Again, we have to go back to these historical examples, or else what we're talking about now won't make no fucking sense. And you think we just two niggas up here doing some conspiracy theory type vibe. Right. No, bro. They took a son of a pope and made him the face of Jesus in order to
simulacra,
radicalize, recruit, and do the rape, pillage, and plunder.
Simulacra,
hyper-reality, hyperstition. The Bible collapses it all into a book of hypersigils. It is the prophecy they're trying to fulfill. I don't know why Peter Thiel running around here talking about the Antichrist when the Antichrist loses in the end. But then again, from what I've seen of how niggas interpret Peter Thiel and also interpret the Palantir, Lord of the Rings shit. Right. They said this nigga Peter Thiel don't even understand what the point of the Palantir even was in the story, to the point where it don't even seem like he read the book for real.
He just saw the movie and probably, he Googled it.
He hyper reality in the shit. Oh shit, they got an all-seeing eye? Damn, I want to control and surveil society like that.
Right, I want that.
That's all he got from the shit. So again, like, we're seeing it in real time. Like, don't just think these boys are vaguely implementing these concepts. No. They're really implementing these concepts. This nigga named his whole company after a book that he doesn't understand because he doesn't to. Just the iconography of I can put eyes on everybody is enough for him to say I resonate with this.
Right. Like, this is a go.
This is a go. This is where it's gonna be. This is what it's gonna do. So again, like, for me, all of this controversy is around turning point, and I think it's a deeper conversation for the melanated community that this is our pivot point. It's a turning point versus a pivot point, right?
Pivot.
If we know that the medium is weaponized, if we know that the substrate is dead, what is it that we can do from here on out to act in such a way that is reflective of what we know, so that way we can reduce the risk that we're taking by even being here? We know the game they're playing. Again, what game are we going to play in return? That's why we're having this whole conversation. It's just about helping you understand that the modern digital market is a bizarre bazaar. It's a bizarre bazaar. Shit done got hyper real, uncanny, strange as hell. The attention economy done fused with the gig economy, done fused with the creator economy, done fused with the old school economic market that they're trying to digitize. Again, they're trying to digitize the dollar right now. That's old school money that they're trying to bring into a new game.
Right.
So this is where I'm really bringing all of this together in my mind to say, yo, the bizarre bazaar. It is the modern market as an uncanny, hyper real digital organism. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to say all of it is parasitic. There's parasites in the overall body, but the whole thing doesn't have to be parasitic. Right. You can tap into this bizarre bazaar and start making some really strange things happen. Again, we had our conversation for MAGAFest Destiny, and boy, I ain't never heard ontological so many times on accident. When I was researching it, it was one thing. To click on the video and this Chinese history professor is going in on America and he keeps saying ontological every 3 seconds.
Right.
It's like, goddamn, bro. Like, did I tap on the buzzword of the day? Like, what the fuck? Is the universe
unlock some shit? Definitely.
So that's really where I see the shit kicking. No. Go ahead and cook. I'm gonna plug up my phone real quick.
I mean, I'm pretty much done in the kitchen for now.
Say less. I feel like we covered a lot of ground because
I do
still
too.
The real deal meta Yahoo conversation to have.
Right. And that conversation about Meta Yahoo, the one that I really want to really dive into, that one will have to be done off of the YouTube, only because
it can't
of
be
the
here.
sensitivity of the information at this point. You know, we have to be very careful and mindful in our words. And what Meta Yahoo refers to is the complete takeover of social media and entertainment by our favorite group of people who are fulfilling their prophecy and whatnot. And Meta, the title Meta Yahoo, Meta is Hebrew for death, and Yahoo means a rude or bad man, right? A rude boy or rude man or bad man. So Meta Yahoo is what it's a conglomerate. It is a compiling of all of these different forces and energies into some type of dystopian Voltron, like whatever the Voltron will go against, whatever that beast was that the Voltron had to form into a robot to cut in half. That's Meta Yahoo. You know what I mean? Oligarchs, archons, all of these triple agents, race soldiers, white inferiority, white walkers, all of these people come together as Meta Yahoo. All right. So we represent the antithesis to that, and we are going to continue to expose it. We're going to continue to build on it. The epilogue for American Gods number 10 will be on 10/10, October the 10th. That is on a Friday. I think we'll be doing a Zoom. It's going to be donation based. I'm going to drop the link for Buy Me a Coffee. Y'all will have access. Everybody who has a ticket from American Gods MagaFest 2.0, y'all have instant access to that. That's definitely a part of, that's a bonus. That's a part of your quote unquote tickets and whatnot. But yeah, we're going to peel it back and do a deep dive. I'm gonna do more of an approach from the American Gods angle, just to reiterate where we are right now in this season that we are with Trump, and juxtapose the series American Gods with this new administration that this playing God. You know what I mean? You have this man right here. You know what I'm talking about? You got Pistol Pete, the God of War. You got my guy right here. This is the one pulling the strings in the White House, unfortunately. You feel me? So there are definitely other figures. We got Meta Yahoo. I just didn't throw him in there yet. But yeah. Oh yeah, Mr. Martyrdom.
And Erica Targaryen over there.
Erica Targaryen, Olga the Ice Princess.
Oh shit.
So yeah, man. It is definitely on and cracking. I do have some announcements. Let's go to this commercial real quick, and then we will be right back. All right, we gotta pay the bills. Got to pay the bills.
The gods of intelligence aren't myths. They're here. Artificial intelligence is rewriting the rules of power right now. Will you master it or be mastered by it? Most are drowning in AI hype, hesitating, confused, while the future slips into the hands of those who act first. That's why Blackmagic 363 presents AI Masters, the Gods of Intelligence, with Seven Bomar and Red Pillar, two visionaries revealing how to align with AI spot for AI masters, the gods of intelligence. The future belongs to those who move first.
Shout out to Brother Rich.
Shout
out to
the big homie.
363 Empire. Shout out to Savon. Shout out to his network. Shout out to the Discord. I got to get you in the Discord. The Discord is lit. We got to do it.
Yeah, I was about to say I've been meaning to ask you for that link. Yeah. Let me get in there.
Yeah. We was in there on Saturday. We did a pop-up, me and Spin City. Shout out to Spin. Shout out to Original Black God. Everybody, man. Shout out to Giant. Shout out to H Factor, Blue Pillar, everybody, man. You know what I mean? Let us go to this one more commercial, and then we are going to call it for the night. And we will be, like I said, we'll be back on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. All right, for that special class. Gonna be
big time.
Yeah. We're gonna cook. We're going to cook. Let's go to this more word from our sponsors. Shout out to Infinite Treasures and everybody in the building. Shout out to my mods. See you, Copper Moon. Brat.
Big shout out to Copper Moon.
Big shout out to Copper Moon, holding it down.
Always.
All the time.
What is Infinite Treasures? Like all things born out of the genius of necessity, Infinite Treasures, in the spirit of the ancient Earthkeeper tradition of Kephara, the scarab beetle, we gather all manner of earth relics, high energy hand-picked crystals, stones, minerals, and pure metals, and weave them into sacred geometric forms that elevate consciousness. 30 years of research and development have revealed secrets to creation. Sacred geometry is the structured form of mathematics that brings about manifestation. Laws that manifest on Earth can also transcend through space and time.
Yes, I. Make sure y'all check out Infinite Treasures and Blood Clot. Let him leave him with some final words, rude boy, and then let him know we'll get up with them in a few more days. We're going back into the lab to put together, we're gonna have ebooks available, study guides available. It's gonna be a thorough presentation. If y'all already know what we do, just know we're gonna bring this one home. It's one of those it's an emergency presentation. And it's also paying homage. Let me share something, because 10 years ago, damn near 10 years ago, I had the opportunity by way of Nicholas and by way of, I believe it was Black Magic, and we put together this lecture right here, Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah, right? October the 10th, 2016, right? Where I did that at Nicholas, Brooklyn, and that was a classic, Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. So, to pay homage to that 9 years later, we're gonna do Meta Yahoo, and that's that. We gotta commemorate our classics. So that one is a classic.
My final thoughts are really simple, yo. Just keep diving into the concepts we laid out over these, I guess it's 5 videos now, 5 live streams, you know what I'm saying? 4 of them are public, 1 is private. Like, it's all in there. I would highly suggest, if y'all get a chance, to check out a YouTube channel called Elephant Graveyard. Give it a go. Someone else said it in the comments. They were like, Dr. Jiang, that's the Chinese historian teacher that has been absolutely wrecking the internet. And also Middle Nation, Bolson. His last name is Bolson, but he's a Muslim brother, and he, again,
from Iran.
Yeah, he not playing no games. Oh shit, he not playing no games. So
That's
again,
my
these are just
dude.
the
That's my
channels that I
dude.
want the family to get familiar with because they're putting out very, very relevant information, and they're doing it in such a way that's going to give you not just the information, but the proper perspective to view the information from, so that way you can again make that pivot. This is what we're doing. We're pivoting. We're understanding the nature of the landscape so we can start manipulating this shit and making the moves we need to make. So study, research. This isn't the time to rush, but it is the time to be expedient in all of your actions. That's what I will say. No rush, but put some fire under your ass, put some pep in your step. We ain't got all day.
Right. That's brother Shaheed.
There you go.
Shaheed Balson, the intellect who picks apart. He picked apart the Stephen Miller speech meticulously. He picks apart all of the chess moves that they make. He's always there with the checkmate. And what I've learned is restraint. I'm not jumping out there doing the first video, trying to be the first person to report on something. I ain't doing none of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not jumping out there grabbing onto none of these hot buttons. I'm sitting back, I'm observing, I'm taking in a lot of different viewpoints. When it comes to a lot of these geopolitical stories that are breaking, there's some very qualified experts that are out there that give you a non-emotional, fact-based report. I have to appreciate that. I'm not a monotone, non-emotional type of information deliverer. I don't have that gift. It's AI does it, and white folks. They the ones that perfected the monotone, non-emotional, straight facts, like nonstop.
Yeah, just letting the clip go. Yeah,
just letting the clip go, and it's like no emotions, no nothing. Like there's you don't know if they're happy about it. You don't know anything. You just know that there's information coming at your head top, and I just deliver mines a little bit differently. You know what I mean? I don't play basic ball. You know what I'm talking about? I'm like,
yeah, straight up.
Like Morant. You know what I'm saying? I'm fancy on the court. I'm throwing my emotions on it.
You know what I'm saying? Between the legs and all that.
Huh?
It says spin moves between the legs, all that. Hit it with that.
I'm a Harlem Globetrotter with this shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I just drive it to the court a little different. But however, I respect it though. Because I don't want to listen to no emotional white boys. No disrespect to the white boys out there that are emotional.
There we go.
Yeah,
when I get my knowledge from them, I want them to
white
be chill.
women, no emotional Karens.
Nah.
Yeah, I need straight shooters, monotone, robotic. Just get that shit. Lay it out.
Yeah, I'll synthesize it and add
I'll
the
put the
emotional
adobo
sauce
on
the
it.
way,
Right. I need
saying?
they giving us the raisins in the fucking potato salad data information. Non-seasoned chicken.
I'll sort through the raisins.
I'll sort through the raisins. I got this. Give me that non-seasoned fucking info. I love it. I love it. You know? So shout out to y'all with the non-seasoned outputs. Feed me, Seymour. Yeah, I like that. I put I put duck sauce on mine and spice it up. But y'all good with me. Like keep that shit coming. White people continue to fall apart. I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
It's
Damn,
so
y'all, man, oh man, y'all made this year worth every fucking moment. White folks, I mean, god damn it, see y'all implode like this. Candace, you're doing a great fucking job. You are the Trojan horse, Candace. Damn,
god damn,
Candy.
I knew she was gonna come through. I just didn't know when. I knew
you was
black woman in her was just gonna take over.
Sis, oh my goodness, she is. Remember the TV show The Boys? Candace is Sage.
Oh, for sure.
Candace is Sage, the one who was behind it the whole time. The Sage is the smartest woman on the planet on the TV show The Boys. that's Candace. Remember, Candace was working with Homelander the whole time, and you thought they was going against one another. Who are you working for, Candy?
Yo,
This can't be
like
you and your bae. Yeah,
Candy.
this can't be you and your husband, Candy. This some
Nah,
other
dog.
shit. Yeah, this
Something's up. I was just saying, I was like,
something's
yeah,
up,
ain't her
yo.
husband white? Ain't her husband Jewish or some shit? Like,
Yes, her husband, his dad is like some elite Peckerwood, bro.
Bruh, like some British nobility or some extra shit.
Type shit.
I keep hearing about. I'm like, yo, son, like
Type shit.
they must have told her they rocking with her straight up because she got a battery in her back like I've never seen. Hey, yo, it was
She must have seen
100,000
the
people in
blicky.
that chat.
Nah, she doing her numbers.
She doing numbers.
I know she making Ye proud. That's his little protege, his protege. You know, that's a Ye protege right there. You know what I mean? He raising killers. Candace and Nick is they like this.
Eating niggas alive.
Those are Ye proteges.
Yo, and we was really kicking his back and when he first brought him out, but now I'm kind of like, all right, Kanye, you might have pulled a 10 years in advance play. Like, what the fuck? Did you know this was coming? Did you? And you set homegirl up to be the antithesis? Because, yo, all right. How much further would Erica be able to get without Candace in the way?
Oh, she would have been on Monday Night Raw. What's today? Monday? Yeah, she would have came. She would have probably been on Raw tonight. She would have went all the way up the ladder with Triple H and them niggas. She was on her way.
Straight.
She was on her way.
And chairs match, yo.
You know, like in Game of Thrones, where Shorty just got the dragon and then she started losing it. Yeah, that's the Erica scene right there. Like Candace at the last minute was like, "Over my dead body." Grab the motherfucking, grab the tail of the dragon and drag that bitch down.
And again, I want to say to you all, none of this looked like it was going to be this way when we dropped MAGAFest Destiny 2.0. I promise you it did not feel this way when the shit dropped. We dropped the shit and everything just started to unraveling. So keep talking about it. Keep pressing the issue. This is almost like some anti-meme shit where it's like we just needed the story to go viral first, and now we can pick apart everyone that bought that bullshit.
Yo, this is what I'm hearing a lot now on my timeline and my feed. Dead internet theory, simulacra. I've never heard simulacra so many
simulacra
damn times.
Specifically.
Well, simulacra and simulation.
Okay. I've been hearing a lot of simulacra lately, and I'm like, dog, like that's not even a word niggas is using.
The shit is everywhere, fam.
Everywhere now.
Like they making that part of the lexicon, ladies and gentlemen. What the helly? So, like you said, God, continue to as we continue to teach. You don't never know who's in the crowd. Each one teach one, man. This shit spreads like rumors and whatnot. You don't know who's in the crowd. The truth is the truth, Roof. You know what I mean? And when people receive it, they believe it. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a fact.
And they repeat it. You know what I mean? Because when the truth it lives on your tongue. You know, once it's agreed upon, once it goes through and it makes it through the filter, it sits on your tongue because the truth got to be set free. So people just repeat the truth that they've heard or the truth that they've come across or the truth that they've encountered. They will willingly repeat it. You know? So let's continue to dismantle and let's continue what we teach with the intention to dismantle this invisible prison that people are somewhat trapped into, right? As a result of their unknowingness or their unwittingness of what it is that they were participating in the whole time. Because like we've been laying out in these series and whatnot, the minute you turned your phone on and jumped through it, the minute you quote unquote tapped into this quote unquote matrix and whatnot, you were in a playing field that you probably have no idea how vast, how rigged, how quote unquote surveilled, or you know, you're not playing on a fair playing field, fam.
Exactly.
This shit it has so many landmines, so many trip wires.
It's like an
So
Indiana
many trap
Jones
doors.
temple on some shit.
Facts, like the Indiana Jones temple. Shoot, I'm talking about. Be very mindful of that. We're gonna help you navigate through this thing so you don't fall through the trap door. We want to trick our ops. We want to trick the ones who are quote unquote trailing us. The agent Smiths, send them down the trap door.
Yeah, I'm trying to triple cross the double crossers. Can't
That's
even
right.
lie.
That's
Straight
right.
up.
So as we continue to move forward, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time, your attention. Hit that like button, hit that share button, leave a comment, add on. You know what I mean? Be mindful of our verbiage and our language and our quote unquote rhetoric. We are reporters. We are media. We are quote unquote documenting and highlighting. And we are also peer reviewing other researchers, other newscasters, other broadcasters, and other new media, quote unquote, outfits. So shout out to all of the independent researchers and whatnot. Continue to stand on your truths. And with that being said, we're gonna leave y'all with the song of the year. You know what I mean? The only way to get paid moving forward in our coin, of course. You know what I mean? You already know. Peace, love, and light, y'all. We will see you Third Eye Thursdays, Techno Tuesdays, and then on Friday for that special day. See you in the building. Peace, love, and light.
Vegas and crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped nose, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso. I pause in kitchens and caused addictions. I pause prescriptions and cause inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores and bricks and on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryption. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bompton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not for focus. In crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets lips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso. Hickory dickory down, hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the meadow, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light air, lift off the rock. Toe from the right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Players in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets lips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso.